1 million years ago, lightning struck a tree and changed everything. Our ancestors discovered fire for the first time, and this single moment transformed humanity forever. What you're about to see will blow your mind about how we survived.
1 million years ago, as the first rays of sunlight pierce through the African savanna, our ancestor slowly awakens in his primitive shelter. Every morning begins with heightened awareness. Survival depends on reading the signs that nature provides. He climbs to higher ground, using his elevated position to survey the landscape for both opportunities and threats. Following the flight patterns of birds, ancient knowledge passed down through generations leads him toward water. Every step through tall grass could be his last. Predators lurk unseen in this dangerous landscape. The sound of flowing water promises life, but also brings the greatest dangers. At the water's edge, danger lurks. A massive crocodile basks in the morning sun, perfectly camouflaged. Patience and intelligence triumph over brute force. He finds a safer spot upstream. Back at his shelter, he begins the delicate work of crafting stone tools, humanity's first technology.
Grunt.
Each strike must be precise. One mistake could mean losing hours of work and potentially his life. A sharp edge means survival. He tests his newly crafted tool on a piece of wood. Hunting requires teamwork. He signals to others using primitive gestures and sounds. Without words, they plan their attack. Ancient wisdom guides their coordinated strategy. In the distance, a large antelope grazes, enough meat to feed the group for days. They move with coordinated precision, each hunter knowing his role in this ancient dance of survival. Success depends on timing and teamwork. One hunter drives the prey toward the waiting spears. Success means survival for another few days. They show primitive gratitude for their kill. Dark clouds gather quickly on the African horizon. Nature's power is about to change everything. A massive lightning bolt splits the sky, striking a nearby tree and igniting something that will change human history forever. Fear gives way to curiosity. Our ancestor takes his first tentative steps toward the dancing flames. Primitive intelligence begins to understand. He carefully breaks off a burning branch. Carrying fire back to camp becomes his most precious responsibility. One misstep could lose this miracle forever. At the campsite, he carefully nurtures humanity's first controlled fire. Learning through trial and error, he discovers that fire needs constant feeding to survive. As darkness falls, the fire reveals its greatest gift: protection from the hunters of the night. By accident, a piece of meat falls into the flames. The smell that emerges will revolutionize human nutrition. The cooked meat is shared with the group. Their faces show amazement at this new taste and texture. Around the fire, the first human community forms. They communicate through gestures, sounds, and shared experience. As others sleep, he remains awake, the guardian of humanity's most precious discovery. As morning breaks, our ancestor tends the fire that still burns bright, the flame that will light humanity's path to the future. Days have passed. Our ancestor has mastered the art of keeping fire alive, learning which woods burn longest. Knowledge must be shared to survive. He carefully teaches another group member the secrets of fire maintenance. With more time around the fire, he develops more sophisticated tools, each designed for specific tasks. Meat placed near the fire's heat stays fresh longer. Another accidental discovery changes everything. The combination of heat and smoke creates the first preserved food, revolutionizing survival strategies. Reading cloud patterns and wind changes, he learns to predict storms and prepare accordingly. Learning from each storm, he reinforces their shelter with better materials and design. Large leaves and hollow gourds become the first water containers, reducing dangerous trips to the river. When illness strikes, observation of animal behavior leads to the discovery of healing plants. Scratches on trees and arranged stones mark territory, communicating presence to other groups. As food becomes scarce, the group must plan their first major migration to follow animal herds. Every tool, every piece of preserved food, and most importantly, fire itself, must be transported safely. A swollen river blocks their path. Intelligence and cooperation become essential for survival. Working together, they move fallen logs and stones to create humanity's first engineered river crossing. One by one, they make the perilous crossing, with the fire bearer going last to protect the precious flame. On the far side, they discover new hunting grounds, rich with unfamiliar prey and unknown dangers. Strange footprints in the mud tell the story of animals they've never encountered before. Through tall grass, they glimpse their first mammoth, a creature beyond their understanding of size and power. Wisdom tells them this giant is not for hunting. They retreat silently, showing early human understanding of limitations. Smaller prey proves more suitable. They track rabbit-like creatures through burrow systems. Digging for small animals reveals another treasure, edible roots and tubers hidden beneath the surface. Knowledge of which plants are safe to eat must be passed to the young, a lesson that could mean life or death. As seasons change, they must adapt their behavior, following animal migrations and changing plant availability. Cold brings new survival challenges. Fire becomes more precious than ever as temperatures drop. Animal hides must be processed for warmth. Scraping and softening skins becomes a vital winter skill. Wrapping processed hides around their bodies, they create humanity's first clothing for protection against the elements. Winter means fewer animals and no growing plants. Preserved food becomes the difference between life and death. For those who have never experienced ice, frozen water presents both wonder and new survival challenges. Snow reveals animal tracks more clearly than ever before, but also makes the hunters more visible to prey. Hunting strategies must change for winter conditions. Stealth becomes even more critical on the white landscape. A successful hunt in winter conditions brings not just food, but hope for survival through the harsh season. When sickness strikes during winter, the entire group's survival depends on caring for the weakest members. Using plants discovered earlier, they attempt their first deliberate medical treatment of illness. When the sick member recovers, the group experiences collective relief, understanding that everyone's survival matters. The first buds of spring bring hope after the harsh winter. Nature's renewal promises better times ahead. With spring comes the urge to move again, following animal herds to new feeding grounds. A natural cave offers superior protection, but first, they must determine if it's already occupied by dangerous predators. Finding the cave empty, they create their most secure shelter yet, with natural stone walls for protection. Firelight dancing on cave walls inspires the first human artistic expression, handprints pressed in clay. Inside the cave, they develop better fire management, using the walls to reflect heat more efficiently. The cave becomes a workshop, where they can work on tools protected from weather and predators. Cool cave temperatures provide natural refrigeration, allowing them to store food for longer periods. Other human groups compete for the same cave. Defending territory becomes a matter of survival. Intelligence prevails over violence. The groups communicate and agree to share the large cave space. Sharing space leads to sharing knowledge. Different groups exchange tool-making techniques and survival strategies. Combined hunting parties prove more successful, taking down larger prey that neither group could handle alone. Success is celebrated together around a shared fire, strengthening bonds between the formerly separate groups. Important survival knowledge is demonstrated repeatedly to ensure it passes to the next generation. After a full year of survival, they have learned to predict and prepare for each season's challenges. As the cycle continues, new life is born into the group, ensuring that hard-won survival knowledge will continue into the future